Hello, Ivana. Thank you for joining us today to share your experience about teaching English in China. It's a pleasure to see you again. So we'll start with a couple of questions and for you to share this valuable experience. Can you please introduce yourself, how old you are, and where you're currently teaching?
Hello, David. I'm 28 and I'm currently teaching in Xianyang. It's the city near Xi'an.
Okay, great. How did you decide to come to China and teach English anyway? Why did you decide that is specifically China, and how it came to your mind that you want to teach English here?
It wasn't an instant decision. I was really happy at my home, in my hometown, at my workplace, but I always wanted to, see more and get more experience. And since I know how China is in the need of English speakers, I thought it would be a perfect chance for me to go to China and teach some kids.
Mm-hmm. Great. As for the teaching application, the application for this job, have you applied with several companies? And if yes, why did you decide to choose specifically work and live in China?
To be honest, I didn't apply with couple of companies.
Mm-hmm.
I in Google, and your agency was the first one to pop up. So I just clicked,
Mm-hmm.
and then I searched the website, all the benefits it offers, and I saw also the testimonials of other clients. And
Mm-hmm.
I was just, I will sign up. So whatever happens, it
Mm-hmm.
happens. So that's it.
Great. And as for the application process and what happened next, can you describe what happened after you applied on the website? What was the procedure?
It was really easy. I signed up, and in a few days, I got a positive feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this girl that I arranged a Skype interview
Mm-hmm.
with, and then I really knew that I will get positive feedback. I was pretty confident at that
Mm-hmm.
time. So it was pretty simple. And also she arranged another interview.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was one interview, and then it was introduction video and
Mm-hmm.
and TV and some other things. I really forgot.
I see. Well, how was the support and what happened after you arrived to China? Like, can you describe a little bit the process within the first few days for you?
Well, when I first came to China, I went to Beijing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I met the guy from the agency that explained me where I will be working, where I will be living. So it was like that. I don't know. And then the next day after Beijing, I flew to the town where I'm a teacher now. So everything was real quickly. They find me a job here, and it was really, really soon after I landed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As for your job, so let's say it's the first week in China teaching English. What happened in the school itself? What was the process of teaching English, and how would you describe? Is it hard, not hard to do?
Since I had a previous experience of 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't that hard because children are all the same, and but the rules of teaching are kind of different from my hometown. There are certain rules you have to follow and stick to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really hard. It's really easy and it's really fun. Also, my coworkers are really great, and there's so many young people and so many young coworkers, and it's always a healthy and fun atmosphere
Mm-hmm.
at work. So it's really cool. And children are really, really, really great. I was really surprised because I never had children age 3
Mm-hmm.
in my previous school, only 4 to 6 or older, but never children age 3. So it was really surprising to see how eager they are to learn and to remember stuff. So it's really, really fun for
Uh-huh.
me.
Great. As for the culture and China, your general impression about China, and what was the most maybe uh, cultural shock for you when you came here, or maybe something that surprised you or is totally different from where you are?
Okay, so to be honest, I have a friend that lives in Shanghai,
Mm-hmm.
so she kind of prepared me for the whole China journey
Mm-hmm.
before I even came here. So it wasn't such a big deal when I came. I knew that Chinese people are so different from my citizens, um, starting from the food, their habits, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really, it's really hard for me that as a foreigner, that some things that I think that should be really simple, they're so hard here, like
Mm-hmm.
transferring money or something like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
really hard sometimes for me. But it's okay. I got used to it, so everything good.
How do you find the Chinese language so far, and how do you usually communicate outside of the school?
Well, outside of the school, I use a translator. Don't ask me which one because I forgot. But sometimes I communicate with my hands. Sometimes I even want to draw something for them, but
Uh-huh.
it doesn't work. Um, but I usually get what I want on a hard way, but I
Mm-hmm.
eventually get what I want. But sometimes it's really hard for me and stressful when I'm in the supermarket
Mm-hmm.
and I want to find something and that shop assistant doesn't understand me anything. But it's my fault. I should have learned some basic Chinese before I came here, right?
Well, maybe.
Um,
Do you think it's hard to learn Chinese?
it's a hard language, but I really like the language. And sometimes when I see my colleagues that are writing something, I'm like, wow, it's
Mm-hmm.
like an art to me because Chinese letters are really, you know, something so amazing to me. And I really want to learn Chinese. And I'm asking my friends
Mm-hmm.
who live here for some extra lessons to find someone who can teach me Chinese. And that's it. I truly hope that I will learn Chinese someday.
Have you tried traditional Chinese food, and do you like it, or you don't like it?
Well, I've tried. I tried dumplings. I really like them.
Mm-hmm.
I also tried some, I don't know the name, but it's like a bread with minced meat inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Uh,
Okay, what I really don't like here is that sometimes when I think some pastry is salty, it's not, it's sweet usually. And I cannot find some salty pastry here like we have in, my hometown or maybe your country, and that's it. But also I like some sandwich with pork meat inside, and also you can add some vegetables. That's what I usually eat here. But I try to cook at home as much as I can,
mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Do you think life in China is expensive, or how do you find the prices and the general cost of life in China?
Well, I don't think it's expensive at all. Sometimes I spend a lot of money, and sometimes I try to, save something, but it's not really expensive. Maybe some cafes like Starbucks or something like that, maybe the coffee is a little bit pricier than usual,
Mm-hmm.
but it's my choice. Depends on my habits and my lifestyle. So, but everything else, it's really cheap, like bills and I think the cost of living here is pretty good and
Mm-hmm.
pretty cheap.
How do you find your apartment so far? Like, do you like it or not like it? Maybe there's something missing in the apartment, or can you describe your impression about the accommodation that was provided?
Well, my accommodation is pretty good. It's a smaller one, but enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what I don't like is that there are no carpets here, so I have to, clean it every day, sweep the floor, and maybe, do the old-fashioned Cinderella way, like with a wet cloth and a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. Everything is new here, which I really like. Every essential thing in the apartment is really new and it's really good. So that's it. And also, I live in the center and really near my school, so everything is good.
Hmm. And how do you spend your free time, your leisure time out of classes? What do you usually do in the city, and how do you like spending time?
Usually, I try to be out of the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I get on the bus and I get lost. Uh, I like to explore the city, you know, to see where some new shops are, where some new restaurants are, some parks, or maybe, I don't know, some coffee places. And that's pretty much it. I just try to spend my leisure time outside as much as I can. Sometimes I call my friends, but sometimes I like to be alone, which is a good thing.
Are there any foreigners in the city that you actually communicate to or hang out with?
Yeah, a few foreigners from the same school.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few schools by this name in
Mm-hmm.
this town, and I know a few of them, but and sometimes we hang out, but it depends on our working hours and the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So that I have a colleague, and I spend a lot of time with him. He's from Armenia, so I think English teachers are the only foreigners I've seen here. Maybe some guy
Mm-hmm.
a few days ago. I don't know, but there aren't many foreigners here in this specific town.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
So the last question I have is, if somebody is considering going to China to teach English, what would be your advice to them?
Well, if for example, I love my job. This is my profession.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot of people that doesn't even like the job, or maybe they don't care about the job, but they want to come here, you know, because of I don't know, maybe salary or everything.
Mm-hmm.
But why not? I mean, everyone can learn this job because it's not that hard, and if you have at least a little bit of interest in children
Mm-hmm.
and teach, you can see it real quick because everybody can learn because it's really, really not that hard,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Great. So thank you for your time today. It was my pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for sharing this valuable experience. We hope you enjoy and stay in China for a long time.